Email marketing is an adventure without shortcuts. When you're equipped with the right tools and strategies, it's a money-making machine. Today, I'm going to guide you through the process of the metrics that you need to look for when you're running an email campaign and what you can do if those email metrics aren't exactly producing the results that you expect. By the end of this video, you're going to know the most common metrics that you need to follow during an email campaign and how to optimize them so that you can get more people clicking and your message in front of more people and hopefully selling more. The first and most important email metric that you must track is the open rate. So what can you do if you're spending a lot of time crafting beautiful email subject lines, but in the end, nobody's actually clicking and opening up your email? First, you must address this problem swiftly because if not, nobody is reading your message and you're not even getting the chance to sell to them. But more importantly, you're not getting the chance to educate the audience and get them to know you more as a person. So if you've got low open rates, one of the best things you can do is make your message irresistible from the get-go the moment it lands in someone's inbox. You can do this by experimenting with different subject lines and A/B testing them. A top tip for this is to incorporate numbers or even personalize your subject line with somebody's name. And just remember that the sender's address can make a big difference in whether somebody opens your email or ignores it. So instead of sending this from a generic business email like hello@xyz.com, try to personalize it a bit more and put it directly from you, such as Sean@xyz.com. This can make a big difference in the open rate as well. Next, you want to make sure that you're actually emailing someone using their personal email address. And when I say personal email address, I don't mean that you need to go stalk this person on social media until you find their actual email address. But whenever you're sending a business email, you don't want to send it to a generic email such as info@hotmail.com. Put in a little extra time and actually find the person's real email address that they use for business correspondence and send a message to that. Now back to this subject line for a minute. The best way that I have found to get massive open rates is to incorporate a bit of curiosity into your headline. If you do this the right way, you can induce FOMO, fear of missing out. That way people will click on your email and want to read it because they think they're going to miss out if they don't. So here's some great examples of curiosity inducing and FOMO inducing headlines that you can use to boost your email open rates. The first that I quite enjoy is everyone is thinking it. If you say everyone is thinking it, people are going to immediately think everybody's thinking it but me, what could it possibly be? Another email that you can use is this needs to be said. By being a bit vague and saying this, people are going to assume that it's something important and they're going to want to click on that email, open it, and move through it and read it. The last type of headline you can use is this is the best secret ever, and you want to really replace this with whatever your industry is. This is the best email marketing secret ever, or this is the best design secret ever, or this is the best way to make money online. All of these make people interested in your message before they even know what it's about. So try one of these curiosity-inducing headlines today, A/B test them with your audience, find out what works the best, and then come back and let me know in the video. By the way, if you're finding this video a bit helpful or you think the topic is something that many people can benefit from, go ahead and click the subscribe button and hit the bell. Let me know your comments below about this topic. I would love to hear from you. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next important metric, and this is going to be the click-through rate, also known as the CTR. If you are putting links into your emails so that people can click onto your website or people can click onto your service, you want to be tracking the click-through rate of your emails. The click-through rate is going to be a percentage of the people that open your email. Naturally, this has to come after the open rate because if nobody's opened your emails, then nobody is going to be able to see the content that's inside of them, right? If your CTR rate is extremely low, it's a sign to revamp your content. It means that the messages you're putting out there are not resonating with the people that you're trying to communicate with. A good way for you to improve the CTR is to segment your audience. Let's say that you are running a social media marketing agency. You might want to segment your messages for people that have reached out to you regarding Facebook advertising, whereas you might want to modify the emails that you're sending to a different segment that have contacted you for Instagram. Segmenting allows you to personalize your emails a bit better, make contact with people who are interested in different topics. And it's almost a surefire way to guarantee that your message does not fall flat whenever you are talking to people within it about specific items that are more relevant to them. So make sure that you segment your audience and send them messages that are relevant to what they contacted you for initially. After that, you can try to consider adding some different elements such as polls or games within your email messages. This is a great way to get people engaged and interacting with your content. There's another word for this called gamification, and if you think about Duolingo, they did an excellent job of it. Many people use Duolingo every day to try to learn a second language, and they did it because Duolingo gamified the approach. They give them reward in trying to use the language that they're learning in. If you are segmenting and still not getting the results that you want, try a bit of gamification, put something fun into the email, and I guarantee you more people will be interacting with your content. Now, what about if you want a metric that specifically measures the actions people take in comparison to the number of emails that you send to them and they open? Because it's not enough to get people opening your emails consistently. You need them to click through those emails and take an action, right? At this point, CTR is not going to be your best bet. You're going to have to focus on the CTOR rate. CTOR rate and CTR rate sound very similar, but they are not the same thing. CTR measures the number of clicks that somebody takes on a link. However, CTOR is going to compare the number of messages that people open with the number of clicks that they make when they're working with your content. This is going to be a great way for you to understand where are you losing people on their customer journey. If you want to learn a little bit more about the customer journey, go ahead and check out this video here. I've outlined it for you very clearly, and I hope it can help you to start improving your customer service. A low CTOR rate indicates that maybe your subject line is good, people are interested in the content that you have within the email, but it's not quite living up to expectations. For example, if you put the best design secret ever, when somebody opens this email, they're going to expect to see some tips and tricks about design. And if you are completely going off the rails and talking about something else, people are not going to stick around, and it's going to affect your CTOR rate. They're going to open the email, but the moment they see that the message is not related to the subject line, they're going to go ahead and bounce, and this is going to affect your email. The best way to overcome a low CTOR rate is to focus on consistently giving value to your audience. If you are messaging about email marketing, you want to consistently reach out to them with emails that have a clear subject line, and you want to have the body copy that follows up with that subject line. If you're promising them 8 amazing hooks that's going to get people to click on the emails, you want to make sure that in the body you actually have these hooks, and you want to put a link in there that's going to take them to additional resources. This is going to increase and improve that CTOR rate that you are trying to get up. The next thing you want to do to increase your CTOR rate is you want to tailor your message to the people that you're trying to talk to. If your subject line says 8 amazing email subject lines that always get opened, well, you got to think, if you send this to a group of designers, is this something they're going to be interested in? Or are they going to be a little bit let down whenever they see this in their inbox because it's not something they're interested in? This is the best way for you to increase your overall CTOR rate. Make sure your subject line matches the body, make sure you're providing value in each email that you send, and make sure you are contacting the right people with your initial message. It's also important to remember that CTR is going to measure the number of clicks, whereas CTOR is going to measure the number of people that take a certain action after they open your email. So there's a small distinction here, but it's going to make a big difference when you're looking at email marketing metrics to improve your overall campaign. The next and very important metric that you need to look at is your bounce rate. Bounce rate means that you send an email to somebody, but their email address cannot receive it. This is going to be very harmful for your overall email marketing campaigns if you have a very high bounce rate. High bounce rates are essentially a red flag for your email marketing list's health. If you have a high number of bounce rates, it means that you have a large number of low quality emails within your list, and you need to go through and you need to revamp this list. To combat high bounce rates, you can go through and regularly clean your email list. If you notice that people are not interacting, or people are unsubscribing, or even if you see that people are continually putting you into spam, go ahead and remove them from your email list. It can indicate that either A, you're not meeting their expectations whenever you send them an email, or B, it indicates that they are not the right audience for the message you are trying to put out. One thing that I always do is enable double opt-in. And if you're not familiar with this, double opt-in means once somebody signs up for your email list, you send them a follow-up email saying, hey, confirm your email, confirm that you want to be on this list. By doing this, not only do you meet the standards for GDPR, but it also ensures that the people who are on your list are higher quality leads. Is it going to reduce the number of people that are on your list overall?
Absolutely.
But I've said it once and I'll say it again. It's much better to have 100 people who are interacting with your content and engaging with your business than it is to have 1,000 people that are not interested in what you're saying or anything that you are putting out there online. The list of 100 subscribers is going to be smaller, but it can potentially help you make more money. Whereas the list of 1,000 subscribers is just going to put you deeper into the spam box. So regularly clean your list and make sure that you're using double opt-in if you want to reduce your bounce rate. The next most important metric is the spam rate metric. You need to understand how many people that you're reaching out to are listening to your message and those who are putting you in spam. If somebody is consistently putting you into spam, it might be a good idea to remove that person from your email list. It's a very clear indication that they don't want anything to do with what you're saying or what you're trying to sell, or it could just mean that the message you're putting out is not right for them, and that is totally fine. Whenever you're trying to sell something, you're never going to be everybody's cup of tea. So if you notice that you have a high spam rate, what can you do to fix this? Well, the first and most important thing that you should do is always have an unsubscribe button that is easy to find within your email, and I usually put this at the bottom in the footer of the email. This allows people who are not interested in receiving your content to quickly unsubscribe so they don't have to hear from you ever again. The next thing you want to do is always keep your content relatable and valuable. Don't try to sell every time. This is the biggest mistake that I see a lot of new marketers making. They grab a lot of names from the internet from running an ad, and then they start to spam these people continually with different sales messages. Your email should not be your only platform for selling. In fact, I would argue that you should hardly ever sell in your email. You need to be providing more value and teaching as you move people through your customer journey. Which brings me to my next point, unsubscribe rates, which is an extremely important metric that you should be monitoring when you're doing any type of email marketing. This is essentially going to let you know how many people are signing up for your email list and how many people are leaving your email list. Seeing a spike in unsubscribers can definitely be disheartening. I've been there before where I get 100 people on my list and then I wake up and then I check it and 3 or 4 of them are gone. It doesn't exactly feel good. However, you can tackle this very simply by making sure that your content always lives up to the expectation that the reader is going to have in their mind whenever they see your subject line. All of this is about harmonizing. Whenever you reach out to somebody, they decide to take an action and contact you because they're interested in what you're selling or they're interested in what you're saying. You need to keep true to this promise as you move people through your email marketing process. You can't bait and switch. People can smell this from a mile away, and in today's digital world, it's not something people are going to deal with. They're simply going to unsubscribe or put you in the spam box, which is going to end up hurting your business later on. Another common reason for seeing high unsubscribe rates is the frequency with which you're messaging your audience. Not every business is the same here. Some businesses will email their list every single day, and that's going to work for them and their specific audience. However, in my business, I usually send out 1 email per week, helping people with a common digital marketing tactic or tactic for running a business that might be causing them some issues. By the way, if you would like to sign up for that email list, you can do so in the description below. And you're only going to hear from me about once a week, and I'm always going to try to talk about something that you might find very interesting. So go ahead and you can sign up for my email list below if it's something that interests you. What can we do if you are communicating with your list too much and somebody doesn't necessarily want to unsubscribe? Give them the option to personalize how often they hear from you. Maybe they only want to hear from you once a week and you're emailing 3 times a week. Give somebody the option within that email to click a button and update their subscription preferences. Tell them if they want to hear from you once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. This is a further form of personalization and segmentation within your audience that's further gonna bring down those subscribe rates and also have the chance to boost every other metric that we've talked about so far in this video. Now, a super important metric that you absolutely cannot afford to ignore is a conversion rate metric. This is especially important if you're running an e-commerce business because often you're going to be running campaigns trying to get people to purchase your items. So you definitely want to be tracking your conversion rate. If you're running a service-based business, you can also track this metric. However, you need to do it in the form of a sequence. You need to initially engage people and inform them and indoctrinate them with all the content that you send via email. Later, once they have been indoctrinated, they're used to hearing from you, then you might start a sales sequence to a certain segment on your list. And this is completely fine. You do still want to track conversion rate. However, you want to do it only with that one specific email. Leading up to that sales email, you might track something else, such as open rate and CTOR rate, so you can see who is most interested in the product that you're trying to sell. Then, when it finally comes time for the sales email, that's when you're going to really focus and hone your strategy in on how can I get more people to convert within this email. If you are not tracking conversions, then you are missing out on a huge opportunity and a lot of data that you can have to help you increase your email marketing campaign overall. What do you do if you're struggling with conversion rates, but people are actually opening your email? This is a good indication that your landing page needs a bit of work or your offer needs a bit of work. You can check this by A/B testing and sending some people to one landing page and another segment of your audience to another page. If you do need help improving your landing page, go ahead and check out this video here. I walk through the 5 non-negotiables that you must have in order for people to actually want to work with you and make a purchase when you present it to them. The next thing that you can do is make sure that your calls to action are strategically placed and that they follow a set form. Apple does this strategically because they know most people are not going to take the lowest priced phone. They know a good proportion of people are going to choose the middle priced phone, but they also know that a good chunk of their audience is going to go through and just pay the additional 100 or 200 pound to get the better phone. If you strategically place calls to action and you strategically place pricing on your landing page using conversion rate optimization techniques such as dummy pricing or pricing as Apple does, you can exponentially increase the amount of money that you can get from a client by providing them more value. When you ensure that every element works in harmony, you can slowly edge people closer to wanting to work with you, or if they make the choice to work with you, you can slowly edge them up into becoming a higher paying client so that you can provide them more value overall. The next thing that you should be monitoring over the course of time is how many subscribers are signing up to your email. Just as we need to track the metric of unsubscribes, we need to track the metric of how many people sign up for our email list each day, each month. If you're experiencing a plateau with your email and you just start to see it flatline like this, you're not getting new subscribers, this indicates that you need to probably change up your offer, or you need to go through and change some of the items that you're offering people in exchange for their email address. Correcting this is simple. Enhance your sign up forms, and you're going to see that this plateau kind of stops and you start to move in an upwards incline again. You can do this through social media, you can do it through your website, you can do it by directly contacting people that you target because you see that they have an issue. You can do this in any way that you want. But the goal here is to experiment with different types of lead magnets so you can see which resonates with your audience and the people that you most want to work with. And the last thing that you want to be tracking if email marketing is a sales channel for you is how much revenue you are making from each client. Hopefully by now, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know how to start creating a mini offer, you know how to move people through a customer journey, and you also understand how you can maximize the lifetime value of a customer. You need to be tracking this metric whenever you are doing email marketing. So what can we do if we're not seeing the expected results in revenue from our email marketing efforts? The first thing you need to do is take a good look at your offers and ask yourself, are these actually resonating with my target audience? Am I actually giving them value that they are willing to pay for? Am I actually solving a problem that nobody else can solve for them? And am I differentiating myself so that they know why they need to work with me instead of someone else? The more time you invest understanding your audience and seeing the actions they're taking, the more small tweaks that you can make. And over time, these are going to compound like a big snowball coming down a hill. And eventually, you're going to reach a point to where when you email somebody, they're going to start through a specific automation, and you know for a fact that they're going to make a purchase with you because you have all the data to back it up. You understand the audience very well, and you know the type of person that you are speaking to. But this doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and consistent effort to build up these email lists of buyers who take the actions that you want. So here's my final words before I say goodbye. Keep testing, keep tracking, keep collecting data, and I promise you, you will reach a point where these automations and this email marketing and all of these metrics just kind of click and it all comes together. So keep up the good work. You are exactly where you need to be. My name is Sean, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.